So the first thing in creating one of these is I look at the basic geometry. So we've got these walls back here, these ones here. We've got this space between here. It's relatively easy, large doorways, and we've got this, this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then each of these are split in half with this smaller barrier here. And this goes up 5 here. So we'll create that, we'll create this object up here. And the rest of it, as you can see, it's very, very basic, but we can make it look nice, so that's what we're going to do. If I have CAD plans, I work this differently. Then I'll use splines to build walls, but I don't have CAD plans here. So I'm just going to take a box and just put this in. And first of all, I just drop it in, and this is going to be the outside wall. And so, I look at the length here. I've set my units. Make sure you set those up. You can come to customize, just click on there, go to unit setup. And this should be millimeters, and this is in millimeters. Okay, good. So the unit setup was millimeters, but for some reason, I don't know, this turns itself off and changes. Sometimes Mac sort of resets itself and you don't reset everything. So this is now set to millimeters. You always want to be checking these at the beginning and making sure that your units are set up properly. Okay, so lengthwise, I'm going to give this about 20 meters. And I want these walls, I'm just going to say, let's make them 250 millimeters wide. So for height wise, if we look at her, she's probably about 170, and she's got these high heels on, so she's probably about 174. I mean, I'm not sure, obviously, I'm not sure the height of this lady, but, double that is 340, so that's about here. And then you can see that's all the way up here. We're going to go 340 up to, I don't know, I'm going to make this, you could come up and say that's about 6 meters, but I'm going to make that 5. Alright. Okay, so what we want to do here, if I press F3, and I'm just going to drop an edit poly on this, and then I'm going to go into sub-object mode here, click on selection. You can also press 2 to come in or out of that. I'm just going to select these. I mean, I could also do this in box, but, I'm just starting the modeling here. So, I've got one set of walls. I've got a set of walls here, and I've got a set of walls here. So I'm just going to put those in. And this one here looks much bigger than this. Like this looks like maybe 1 meter, maybe 1 meter 20, maybe a bit more depending on camera. But this here is like 4 meters across or something. So I'm going to make 4. I'm going to connect this 4 times for those walls to come through. And then each of those, I'm going to just chamfer those. And I'm going to say let's chamfer them by... let's do another 250. So we're going to do 125, and that'll be like 125 this way and 125 that way, so it'll be 250. So we've got that, and then if we just go into polygon mode here, and we can just select these, just select these 4. I'm not putting these in the right place yet. We can extrude these out, and let's say across the way, like, let's say it's 3 meters. Let's just go 3, and what we'll do is we'll put the... we might adjust this afterwards, but what we're going to do to get this side is we're going to put a symmetry in, so we can just do that now. So just the symmetry modifier, and then just press 1, and just drag this across, and we want it about there. And then we also want to go edit poly again, and we're going to, we want to come into the polygon mode here. Actually, we can do this back here, just so we don't have to mess around, doing it on both sides. Let's go again, polygon mode, and just select these ones. And just extrude these about the same. Alright. And then we're going to go top view, and I'm going to go down to, I don't want to go to border. There's no borders on this. Everything's closed. But I'm going to go here, and I'm going to actually select these, and I'm going to chamfer these edges. I don't always do this with a chamfer, but I am in this case. Sometimes I just, connect it again and move those, but I'm going to chamfer these. And if I look at this picture, I'm going to say this is about 2 meters 50. So half of 2 meters 50 is 125. And click that. Alright. And you can see these other edges are going to need to move slightly, so I'll move those in a minute. And then I'm just going to face this, and I just want this cut in the middle, so let's just again go to the edge mode, and we're just going to select across these and just click on connect on this little button. Oh, I was thinking because I did it 4 last time it would remember, but it didn't. It's gone back to 1. So we're going to click on that. And this, I said I wanted at 3 meters, right? What was it? So I said she's 170, and so that's about 2. It's like 320. So we'll put this up at 320. And if I come up here to worlds, okay, I was hoping it was going to show me the readout here, but it's not. So to get it at 320, I mean, I could remember the height and then know how many I've got to move it from halfway to get to 320. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on snaps because I don't remember the height. It's probably 5 meters or something, but I'm going to turn on snaps. And on snaps, if you right click, you get this toggle on. So this is on vertex. By default, it's on grid point. So I don't normally go with vertex. Sometimes I use some of these other ones, but in this case, I'm going to use vertex. And I'm going to make sure this enable axis constraints is on, because by default, this is off. And you can see what this does here, because it makes it so it moves by here, moves on those axes, on the axis you choose. If it's off, it just moves wherever you pull it slightly to that way, and it's going to move slightly that way. So just turn that on. So with snaps on and those options done, I'm going to bring this down and snap it down there, and then I'm just going to click this button, which allows me to just control this on its own from where it is. So now that says Z, or sometimes that's Y going up when you come into these, front and left, but that's fine. I'm going to put this at 3000, and it's going to move it straight up. And then we're going to go into polygon mode, and we're going to select these. So if I press F3, you can probably see easier what I'm doing, and F4. So, and if you're worried, because sometimes you do this and you move it, you see like that. So what you want to do then is you can either press Q as the shortcut, or you can come up here and you can click on select object. Because this one is select and move, and this is just select, so that will stop you from moving it when you're selecting, and you don't have to worry about it moving while you're doing it. Then you can bridge those. That's nice. We can go front view, and I'm just going to delete these here. And there's basically 2 polygons. If I show you individually, like this one here, sorry. This is the bottom polygon, and this is the top polygon. And I want to just do all of those, so I'm just going to move that like that and delete them. So now we're going to go back into vertex mode because I want to give more space here. This is like 250. And I'm just going to bring this up. And I'm just going to slide over here. Now, just so you know, one thing which is good to have, if you come into customize and preferences, make sure this is clicked. Auto window crossing by direction. And I normally have right left crossing. But basically, what it means is if I, let's go to edge mode. And if I come like this, then it doesn't select, it only selects objects which are fully selected. So if I come here, you can see these are fully selected, but from here, it's not. And if I come this way, it means it doesn't do it by, if it's fully selected. You can just partially select something and it selects it. So one is from the right and one is from the left. And that's useful. So here, I'm just going to bring it here. I'm going to go to vertex mode. And I'm just going to move this over. I might move it back or move it around a bit, but for now, this is x-axis. So, and I've still got this little guy pressed. Otherwise, it would look like this, and I'd have to add on an extra 200 to there, which is fine. But this way, I can just move it over 200 like that, and then select this guy like this, and do minus 200 here. All right. Oh, and then I've got to move these up. So I said 1.5 meters. So let's move this up here like that. I just had it. I'm going to press G, get rid of the grid in the background, and just bring this back here. And I want like 1.20 meters between them. And like I said, that might move later depending on how it looks through the camera. But for now, I can move this 1.20 meters. So we're just going to go y minus 1200, and that's there. And then this one here, I'm going to move this. At least I get these sort of the right distance apart. So that's. Oh yeah, by the way, look. See, if I just do this, if I just select here and come up and snap to this, because this pivot point is in the middle, then it's just going to snap that pivot point to here. Whereas, and I press Ctrl Z to undo it. But if you come over here and you just roll over, you see you get this little handle come up with the 4 points. So that means that, and you can see the yellow on the vertex, that means that's selected. So now it's snapping that vertex to this vertex. So that's how you get it to snap vertex to vertex. And then we're going to go Y, and I'm going to give this 3 meters. Alright, so now that's that. And then what I want to do is I'm just going to create a box. That's my basic walls, yeah?